Good morning, y'all. It's going to be a sloth day today. We welcome you all to the Unitarian Universalist Fellowship of Northern Nevada, where it is our mission to grow together in love, faith, justice, and joy. Okay. My name is Xiomara Rodriguez, and I am your worship associate today. My pronouns are she, her, and ella. Today, we're meeting on the ancestral lands of the Paiute, Shoshone, and Washoe tribes. I would like to acknowledge the traditions, their beliefs, and their stewardship of this land. Let's be mindful of our profound debt to our indigenous neighbors, brothers, and sisters. We honor the heritage of all who come here to this fellowship. No matter where you are and you come from, you're all welcome here. So no matter where you are today, here, present, or on Zoom, hi Zoom, we welcome you, regardless of your racial identity, your age, your economic circumstances, and your immigration status, especially that, your immigration status, sexual orientation, and gender ID. We welcome you all here, and we are so glad that you're here. For those who Zoom, you know the drill. You'll be staying muted. Please put, sorry, the words are not coming out the right way. Put your comments on the chat, and just after service, go and have fun on coffee time. So now, before we welcome one another, it's announcement time. So, first announcement. From September 15th through October 15th, we celebrate Hispanic Heritage Month to honor the past and present contributions of Hispanics and Latinos. Joyce and Sora cards, they're in the back. Please fill them out and bring them forward and give them to me here so we could do that during the Joyce and Sora times. Please do it. Newsletter, please fill out the yellow thingy that's in back seats, please, so you could get the newsletter. It's very important. It has all kinds of really great, neat information. Today is Library Day. The library's going to be open. Go, take a look at books, be there, okay? Sylvia, where are you? Sylvia's somewhere here. Sylvia's back there. She could help you guys. Okay, Wells Avenue, Fiesta on Wells Avenue. After service, there's a big party on Wells Avenue to celebrate Hispanic Heritage Month. Please go, have a great time. Good food, good music, a lot of good stuff. So after service, just go out there and let's have a party. You might not be there, but Nathan, you're on.
The whole Wells Avenue. Good morning. My name is Nathan Bakken. I use they, them pronouns, and I am the Director of Congregational Life here at UUFNN. And I just have a couple announcements today. The first is after our service today, the hike from our congregational auction is happening after our service. And if you are coming on the hike, you're going to meet Pete. Pete, could you raise your hand or stand up? You're going to meet Pete on the south end of our campus at the picnic tables. So if you're going on the hike after our service today, that is where you will be meeting Pete to go on your hike. Also, tonight, UUFNN the UUFNN RE Committee is launching a new monthly evening program that is focused on intergenerational connection building and deepening our understanding of our Unitarian Universalist faith. It is a dinner service meeting in the Star King room at 5:30. There will be great food. There's going to be wonderful activities for you not to just connect with our youngest, but also with one another, and hopefully learn something about yourself. And it's a space that's open for everyone. I'm going to repeat, 5:30 tonight in the Star King Room, which is that building right across from us, all the way in the back. And if you're interested in attending, there's a sign-up sheet in the gathering room, and we ask that you bring something to share with everyone if you're considering attending. And if you have more questions about this, it's going to happen the fourth Sunday of every month, and you're welcome to talk to me after the service for more information. And and now I'd like to invite Rosalind up for our final announcement.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Rosalind Bedell, and my pronouns are she and her. And I'm doing the climate note this morning. So, as we know, there are climate crises around the world all the time. The news is full of horrible events, from fires and flooding. Currently in North Carolina, we have terrible flooding going on because of huge amounts of rain. They're calling it a 1,000-year event. Flooding in Central Europe, spilling over now into Italy as well. And in Central Africa, Sub-Saharan Africa, horrible flooding because of huge amounts of rain and a dam burst. So, and then of course we have the wildfires. Here we know only too well about wildfires all around us, which seem to be more every year. And when I came here 30 plus years ago, they didn't seem to be a very common event, and now there seem to be fires everywhere all the time. And across the world, we've had fires in Greece. Currently there's a terrible fire in Portugal. Fires raging in Brazil. 13 million acres have been burned in Brazil this year, which is double what it was last year. And smoke from that fire is spilling over into 7 countries in South America. So everywhere, horrible news, and sometimes it's really overwhelming, I find, the state of the world. And sometimes I feel my motivation is sapped because I'm overwhelmed by everything, and that my spark flickers a little bit to help, and is in danger of going out. And I really want to do things to help with the climate crisis, because I might not be here, but my children will be, and my grandchildren. And if there's anything I can do to make the world a better place for them, then that will give me great joy to be able to do whatever it takes. So anyway, this coming weekend, we have an opportunity to reignite our spark. And UUFNN are taking part in the UUA Climate Justice Revival here at the Fellowship on Saturday, the 28th, and also Sunday. And this is actually a nationwide UUA initiative, and 350 congregations, UU congregations, are taking part across the nation in this workshop, which is really exciting. That's an impressive number. That's about a third of our denomination. So this is an opportunity to gather together, have a conversation, a discussion, brainstorming, planning what we can do to deal with the challenges that surround us, what we can do about the challenges, and come up with a plan to go forward. And so I invite you to come and be part of that. I think it'll be very inspiring and motivating. We've had these kind of conversations before as a group at the Fellowship here. Some of you may remember when we gathered together with Reverend Karen to write our covenant. And we've had many occasions where we've gathered in this kind of way. And it's really exciting to be together in community, to be together with each other, and also to brainstorm and come up with a plan. So I hope you can come. I encourage you to register if you haven't already done so. You can register, there's a link in the e-news, you can register online. I believe also you can register in the gathering room after service. There's going to be a table out there, so don't wait, you can register today. And deadline for registration is Thursday, so please register. So the workshop on Saturday will be 10 to 3. There will be activities for children if you want to bring children, and volunteers on hand to help with them. Bring a lunch. And then on Sunday at the service, we'll talk about these issues again. And then after the service, we'll have an advocacy hour where we can do things like write postcards and indulge in advocacy about these issues. And there'll also be a potluck lunch, so there'll be food as well. So anyway, I hope you can come, and hope to see you there, and we can all reignite. I can reignite my spark. Hopefully we can all reignite our spark together to tackle climate change. Thank you.
One last announcement. Hunger Action Month. Food bank, please. We have some containers in the gathering room. We need food, cans, whatever. Please bring some so we could help those that need our help. Thank you so much.
Good morning. I'm Bob Alto, worship leader. And one thing UUFNN is known for, it's connection and community. So now we have a chance to enjoy that moment of fellowship and connection. So how you are able to, with a fist bump or a hug or a handshake or in chat, just sending out messages of love and concern and support. Would you please rise and find somebody to say hello to? All right, we'll begin until the singing bowl. Here we are together, each facing our different human tasks, or maybe the same central one, to embrace the lessons life delivers, to discern and respond as we grow, to refuse harm and cherish flourishing. Today we'll get a little taste of heritage, something handed down from the past as a tradition that evokes a nostalgic sense of tradition in history. We'll also touch on delight, the equivalent of joy. So we'll reflect a little bit on delight and joy.
Today's challenge words are from Karen G. Johnson. Ever in our midst. A line of framed family photos, all on a surface, some out of focus. Ancestors who spoke with bravest fire. Let us your senses. That we may know another world. We got it. Is on the way. Breath into the life with our participation in our creation. Forbearers, who led the way where there was at first no way. Lead us, lend us your persistence, your tenacity, your assurance that the moral arc of the universe does indeed bend towards justice. Once we went before us, sacrificing for a future not your own. Help us to give of ourselves, that the common stone in our hands today might be cathedrals of compassion today, halls of restoration and justice tomorrow, sheltering walls of beloved community the day after. It is Sunday morning, the day we gather. Let us be thankful and full of praise to be in the company of those who came before, yet ever in our midst. Kim, please, however you can, please stand. And it's standing in the side of love.
We answer the call of love as we examine our joys and as we examine our sorrows. I'd like you to take time and just find yourself where you are right now, in this place, in the quietness, with the child, with the sun. We recognize the joys we have when we celebrate birthdays, when we celebrate goals reached, when we celebrate accomplishments, new births, life changes. On the other hand, we recognize the challenges, the hurt, the negatives of life and living, such as death, illness, deep concerns about yourself and others, including broader issues such as climate change, social injustice, war, political tension. Today, we'd like to recognize Carol Sorensen, who is needing healing from vertigo. So please send healing thoughts to Carol, who is having a bad time. We also send out healing to those who might be suffering pain and difficulty. Our own Zamara has been through COVID and the flu, and she's here today on a healing path. You probably have friends, relatives, connections that need your good thoughts, and the world in general, that it might have healing as well. May all be blessed by the spirit of peace and reconciliation. Let us just take a few minutes of quiet time and think of ways that we can send peace into the world and to those who need assistance and growth and positive vibes. May we be open to receiving the simple gifts of life. May we find unexpected ways to remember where we came from and imagine where we go next. May we find touchstones of our past and in our present, heritage and delight among them. May they become a foundation for the future as we celebrate our joys and find peace in our sorrows. Namaste. Amen. And here we have one more. Thank you, David. This is for my husband, Albert, who has been diagnosed with stage 3A lung cancer and will be starting radiation and chemotherapy next week. We only ask for your kind thoughts and for his recovery. Amen.
I would like to start by acknowledging once again that from September 15, we start to celebrate Hispanic Heritage Month. which will go all the way to October 15th. And the reason this happens is because we celebrate the independence of those countries from Central and South America. And their independence starts from September 15th through October 15th. Puerto Rico doesn't enter into that section, but that's a question for another day. The question today that many ask is, what is my heritage? To this question, there are so many answers, and they're not all that easy. Heritage refers to a person's unique inherent sense of family and identity. It includes the values, tradition, culture, and artifacts handed down by previous generations. Heritage is something that is handed down from the past, a tradition. It can also refer to a feature belonging to a culture or a particular society, such traditions as language or buildings that were created in the past and still have historical importance. My heritage. I come from a very specific mixture of Taino, which are the indigenous people from the Caribbean. But I'm also a mixture of the slaves that were brought to the Caribbean by the Spanish conquistadores. And I have a Portuguese Spaniard in me. My grandmother was from the Basque countries, and my grandfather's family came from Islas Canarias. I come from an island that is 100 by 30 in the Caribbean, where we go to sleep to the coqui, to the music of a coqui. Coqui is a small, tiny little frog that is only available on the island, and every night it goes coqui, coqui, through the whole island, and that's how you fall asleep. Well, we celebrate Three Kings Day, even though it was outlawed by the American colonizers for 31 years. I come from an island where traditions are mixed with Spanish, African, and Taino, where the folkloric dance of La Bomba, a dance brought to the island by the African slaves, where we celebrate Spanish and Catholic traditions, where we have incorporated many Taino words, like huracán, hurricane. My heritage? I am Puerto Rican, and I am Caribbean.
She's from the islands, I not so much. She likes it 80 degrees, I like it 60 degrees. So I'd like to make a little transfer here. We're going from heritage to delight. My heritage, Lithuanian and Finnish. I was born in Pennsylvania and lived there most of my life. I had childhood delights of going down a hill on cardboard, going through the leftover cold fields, and running around free as a bird. Until we moved to Allentown, Pennsylvania, the Billy Joel song that you know about. When we're exhausted and harried, it is almost impossible to find delight in even the most wonderful things. Oh, do you have time to linger for just a little while out of your busy and very important day? for the goldfinches that have gathered in a field of thistles. It could mean everything. Delight comes from the Latin delectar, to charm, delectable. Its roots even lead to delicious. Synonyms as a verb: delight, enchant, captivate, pleasure greatly. As a noun: happiness, joy, joyfulness, glee. When's the last time you used glee in a sentence? Delight is like the butterflies flying around and landing on the thing that is joy. Delight is like the butterflies flying around and landing on the thing that is joy. Today I'd like to give you a taste of delight. First of all, I'd like to share the story of all ages, maybe something beautiful. And then I'd like to just share some connections from various writers. So maybe something beautiful. Now, I'm not going to do the pages, so you're just going to have to put up with me as a storyteller. But you can close your eyes, and you can pretend that we're all just kind of centered around a circle, and I'm sharing with you this experience of delight. In the heart of a gray city, there lived a girl who liked to doodle, draw, color, and paint. Every time she saw a blank piece of paper, Mira thought to herself, maybe. And because of this, her room was filled with color and her heart was filled with joy. On her way to school one day, Mira gave a round apple to Mr. Henry, the owner of the shop down the street. She gave a flower to Ms. Lopez, the lady with the sparkling eyes. She gave a songbird to Mr. Sachs and a red heart to the policeman who walked up and down the streets. On her way home, Mira taped a glowing sun onto the wall, hiding in the shadows. Her city was less gray, but not by much. The next day, Mira saw a man with a pocket full of paintbrushes. He gazed at the wall. He looked at her son. He held his fingers up in a square and peered through them. He said thoughtfully. What do you see? Mira said. Maybe something beautiful, the man replied. Then, just like that, he dipped a brush in the paint. Bam! Pow! The shadows scattered away. The sky blue cut through the gloom. The man's laughter was like a rainbow spreading across the sky. Who are you? Mira asked. I'm an artist, a muralist. I paint on walls. I'm an artist too, she told him. He handed Mira a brush. Then come on. Mira dipped in the loudest color she saw. Yowie! The wall lit up like sunshine. As the man drew pictures on the bricks, Mira added color, punch, and pizzazz. Soon Mr. Sachs joined in. Then came others. Everyone painted to the rhythm. Salsa, merengue, bebop. Even Mira's mama painted and danced the cha-cha-cha. The whole neighborhood became a giant block party until. The policeman walked up. "Excuse me," he said. The music stopped. Mira put her brush down. They were surely in trouble. The officer cleared his throat, then paused. "May I paint with you?" he asked. And the music started again. Teachers and papas jumped in, babies too. Mira and the man handed out brush after brush. Color spread through the streets. So did joy. Wherever Mira and the man went, art followed like a string of a kite. After they colored the walls, they painted utility boxes and benches. They decorated sidewalks with poetry and shine, and everyone danced. Together, they created something more beautiful than they had ever imagined. When their clothes were spattered with a million colors, everyone sat down to rest, except the muralist. His eyes sparkled. "You, my friends, are all artists. The world is your canvas," he told them. He smiled wide, then pulled everything together in big, sweeping motions. His paintbrush was like a magic wand. When he was finished, Mira added one more bird way up in the sky. Maybe, she thought, just maybe. When I think of delight, I think of memories that brought joy and gladness to me. Growing up, it was that May afternoon, sitting in the apple tree on my fort, which was just a piece of wood, and enjoying the sun, but the fragrance of the apple blossoms. And somehow when I recount that, I find a certain gladness. Now I want you to take a journey, all of you, because we're going to maybe create one thing for what we call the box of delight. Small child in the sandbox, waterfall of pulverized stones running through our hands, high-pitched laughter of delight. Because the road turns long and lonely sometimes, I built this box of delight. I picked up the lid and put into it. Now, what will you put into it after I give you some suggestions? My children laughing together. The bitter bite of rhubarb pie smothered by a spoonful of half-melted vanilla ice cream. Deep dish pizza. The smell of tangerine. French press. Mixtapes made with tunes from the 80s. Build a sandcastle. Build a model car. Go to a drive-in movie. Go berry picking. Taking a hike. Taking a swim. Cutting wood for the fire. Getting a hug. Getting a smile. Far too many people misunderstand what putting away childish things means and think that forgetting what it is like to think and feel and touch and smell and taste and see and hear like a 3-year-old or a 13-year-old or a 23-year-old means being grown up. We don't have to be grown up. In my life, I've been accused of having too much fun. On the other hand, a person called me one day and said, I've been looking for someone who knows how to have fun. So sometimes it's a two-edged sword, isn't it? Sometimes your delight is not another's delight. How many of you have never tasted rhubarb pie, for example? Show by a raise of hands. All right. There are a few of you. And yet again, rhubarb pie is such a delight. And smothered in ice cream, even more so. Today I went to the retirement office. Bozo 1 was helping someone. Bozo 2 was playing video games. A woman came in from the door and said to me, I know you, right? She looked familiar too. She sat down and we began to talk. We spoke of our grandchildren and our children. She was wonderful, and she asked what my name was. Karen Kurtzinger. I know that name. I know you, don't I? Maybe. What's your name? Darlene. Not Darlene. Sanders. She noted. You are the Darlene Sanders. Both bozos looked up. For years I've heard of you. Everyone I know says she's the only one in retirement who knows what she is doing. Do not ask for anyone else. You have to have Darlene. She expressed a surprise that I heard this only 100 times, I told her. On the way out, I wanted to linger because I was in no hurry to return to the hellhole that is my job. I felt an urgent need to tell the Board of Education receptionist the Darlene Sanders story. I had to wait for her to take 6 phone calls, no problem. I wanted to wait for 12 phone calls. Do you know Darlene Sanders? I asked her. She nodded. I told her the story about meeting Darlene. She's a celebrity and a delight, I told her. The receptionist repeated, a delight. I told her how much I now love Darlene Sanders. And there was a small giggle. I gave her a stern look. She smiled and said, Darlene Sanders is my mother. One of my favorite musicals, and someday I will give a talk about how musicals can inspire and lift us up. One of them is a chorus line. A chorus line is based on tapings of chorus members, and the chorus members are the ones who are the dancers behind the main characters. And this song is kind of an ending to, as they get picked, they tell their stories. And as the musical ends, there are, of course, all these individual stories, but a collective story as well. And it's found in the words of a song, What I Did for Love. I may cry because this always makes me cry for some reason. A chorus line in Les Mis, I've seen him many times and I cry all the time. Kiss today goodbye, the sweetness and the sorrow. Wish me luck the same to you, but I can't regret what I did for love, what I did for love. Look, my eyes are dry. The gift was ours to borrow. It's as if we always knew, and I won't forget what I did for love. Now let's go back to that little box of delights. Is it being in the chorus? Is it being in the apple tree? Is it being by the ocean? Is it seeing a remarkable thing like Michelangelo's David? Is it just the change of the leaves as fall comes to us? Is it stepping out the door to the sunshine? All of those are delights if you make them so. So today, I've shared maybe something beautiful, the delight of art. I've shared with you a little bit about a box of delights and some examples. I'd like to close with a poem I wrote and shared with my wonderful cohorts in our spirit circle, and I call it In Delight of Delights. With each passing chapter of life, there are my delights, from rushing waterfalls to quiet, starry nights. Who as a child can forget the sunny moments in a blooming, scented apple tree, alone making pond villages and boats, as thoughtful and thankful that I could be? Then there's the teen years and finding the joy of art, buying neighbors' floral works. Was it then that getting bargains became of one of Bob's quirks? Marriage and divorce decrees made joy and sadness real, while raising a family, the happiness and losses I could feel. 83 is now a chapter of flight, fight, and delight. How and when will I get it right? No answer is assured, but taking each delight, each moment, is one's reward. And so may it be so. Namaste.
Thank you. Bob, thank you. As we approach the time for our offerings, we pray to be generous givers, both in our money and in our lives, that we might make a difference in this town. Give what you will, for your generous people. For those here physically, you know the basket is going to be passed around. For those of you on Zoom, you could do your offering virtually. Just follow the instructions and the information on your screen. Here in UUFNN, we have a tradition, the opportunity to share our generosity by sharing with a designated nonprofit. The Share the Plate for this month is Moy Village, which is an initiative to guide and support teenagers aging out of foster care with basic skills and competence so they can be successful adults. Eventually, they hope to purchase a facility of their own to provide apartment-style living for 20 young people. So Now, please let our offering begin. Beautiful. Now, how about if you guys join me in blessing our offerings? The work of this fellowship, which is we both will love, faith, justice, and joy. We dedicate ourselves, and these are offerings.
Like to close the chalice, or unlight the chalice with these words. Whether you are holding anxiety, grief, confusion, anger, hope, restlessness, or deep peace, Unitarian Universalism has a place for you. It is right here, and this chalice is lit for you. Okay, our closing hymn will be If you will join hands as you are wont to be. And we are together in community spirit. Blessed is the Path by Eric Williams. Blessed is the path on which you travel. Blessed is the body that carries you upon it. Blessed is your heart that has heard the call. Blessed is your mind that discerns the way. Blessed is the gift you will receive by going. Truly blessed is the gift that you will become on the journey. May you go forth in peace, resolve, and truth. Blessed be. Namaste and amen.